Excellent. And today we're talking about Property Boost. This is a platform provided by KV Core. You guys are going to be really familiar with this whole concept because we have it in spades. Boost by HomeSpotter, that's provided by the brand, is very similar to this, and AdWorks does something really similar as well. There is one advantage to KV Core. We're going to talk about that at the end. Our main topics today that we are going to cover is what is it? We've covered that a little bit already. We're going to cover the different types of ads that you can run with Property Boost. We're going to talk about the cost per lead per ad. We're going to talk about how to end an ad if you need to end it early and some of the ramifications of that. And then we're going to actually go through how to set up an ad. And then what's your next step? So that's going to be nurturing those leads that actually come into your KV Core through the Property Boost. So what is Property Boost? Property Boost is provided by KV Core and it automatically creates an ad for you. This is blasted across Facebook to users who live within 15 miles of the listing. It collects their name, email address, and phone number from Facebook, and then it puts that into your CRM. So that's one thing that things like AdWorks and the Boost don't do, is that it doesn't automatically collect that lead information for you. So it's a pretty powerful tool. What types of ads can you run with Property Boost? There are 4 of them. Just listed, open house ads, price reduction ads, and sold ads. What would your cost per lead look like? So we can break it down per campaign. There are $60 campaigns and there are really expensive campaigns up to $240. We'll look at the different levels, but what is your cost per lead? And they do a little bit of research for you. And it says lead counts will vary by listing and location, of course. They cannot guarantee the quantity or quality of leads. That's going to be up to the listing and the amount of interaction it generates online, but you can estimate your cost per lead to cost around $4 to $9. With a $60 boost, you can break that down to expect around 7 to 15 leads. And this is the cheapest option, I believe. With something more expensive, you can estimate 25 to 60 leads. So at $4 to $9, that's pretty thrifty, I would say. About canceling ads, if the listing does go on the market, please remember that you won't be able to receive a refund. Now you can request a cancellation through support. So if you're running a week-long ad and it goes under contract on the first day, you will be able to contact support and cancel the ad. But I would sort of use this knowledge when you're choosing your campaign type. If you're doing a just listed campaign, maybe just run it for 3 days. If you're doing an open house campaign, and it's in a week, just do a 7-day campaign. So be a little bit mindful of that. In this type of market, this is something that we would be concerned with, but of course the market changes and this may not be a concern later on. So I'm going to stop this screen and we're actually going to take a look at how you start a ad and where to go to do that. And now we are in our KV Core dashboard. And as always, I do want to point out a couple of things for you. The first is your company announcements, and that's up here at the very top. And we put different things in here for you. Like today, we have our KV Core Power Hours. So this will be here every week if you want to join from the dashboard. And there's recordings to trainings and things like that. And this will change and become current based on whatever we have going on. Again, your courses is right here. You should be completing or hopefully have already completed the Agent Success Plan. If you haven't, that's right here. All you do is enroll and you can pick that up at any time. Down here at the bottom, this is our little chat icon. You can come in here and start a conversation with support. And these conversations, once you start them, don't go away. So if you need a problem or if you have a problem and you need an answer and maybe they are taking a couple of minutes to get back to you and you get busy, they're always there. You can come back to them. You can also send them a message to schedule a support call with you. If you prefer to do that on the phone, they'll set that up for you.
How did you get to that, Blair? Where did you go in it?
It's this little blue icon down here.
Perfect.
Wonderful. So there are a few different ways that you guys can run a property booster. There's a couple of different ways to get there. The first is on the listing page. So on my dashboard or on my toolbar over here, I'm clicking the home icon. That's all of our listings. And you can go to my listings, because you're probably going to only be boosting your own listings, or you can do all MLS listings. I'm an admin, so I don't have any listings. So I'm going to go to company listings. And here they are. So there's two ways that you can do this. The first is you can click boost property right here at the top. And I believe if you actually go into the property as well, and you're on the details page, there's a boost property option there as well. So this is a property by Dawn. I'm just going to walk through the options. We're going to click boost property. And it brings us right into Property Boost. So you can see here they have the steps labeled for us, and like AdWorks and like Boost, this is very easy. They build it out for you, and you have a couple of things that you can change for it, but by and large, it's a pretty simple process for you guys. So first, you're going to choose the type of ad that you want to run. Listing would be just listed. Open house is going to be open house events that you have going on, and you can see my wording over here changes based on the type of ad that I choose. So price reduced, that wording is going to look a little bit different, and then you can do just sold as well. The only difference between these, price reduced is going to show your new price, and open house, you do have to add the open house details, and you'll see here you can do that down here at the bottom, open house information, and you'll just select a time and a day. Just listed, it's pretty standard. You can select a new image. So if the main image is not to your liking, or maybe you want to highlight something else, you can select a new image and it will display that on your ad here. You can change where they land. But I would recommend just keeping it. Its default site is basically going to send it to your agent website so you can collect those leads. Targeting is kept very, very simple on Property Boost. And Facebook, we do have some restrictions because we're in real estate, so we can't really pick our audience due to fair housing, but this, you essentially pick a location and it does a 15-mile radius around that location. So right now it's set to do 15 miles around this property, but if this was a condo and you're marketing to people in another city or another state, you can change the targeting and you can pick whatever city it is that you want to market to. Now you can only choose one. That is another downside there. So you can run one ad per city at a time. But as far as targeting by, specific parameters, that's not allowed. One other question that you guys may have, can I set my Facebook page here? And the answer is no. These are all run through Inside Real Estate. That's the owner of kvCORE. They run all of these, so you can't change it to your Facebook page, but it does send the click-throughs to your website. Next comes the pricing plans, and again, we do want to expect $4 to, I believe it was $9 per lead, and the pricing is based on the time. So if it's a new listing, I would say maybe stick with 3 days. And then if it's not under contract by then, maybe run another ad in another city or something like that. But pricing is based on the weeks, and you'll see you do get a discount if you go up. So do choose this wisely. And last but not least is your billing information. And we all know how to do that probably. So pretty simple, right? It's just changing a couple of details, and they keep it really simple here. Any questions while we're looking at this? Excellent. Okay. Let's go back to our presentation. Once you run these ads, what is your next step? So what does a lead look like that you get through Property Boost? So you run these ads for two reasons. One is to expose your listing, and one is to leverage that listing and collect leads. So expose your listing, maybe get a buyer or a seller, but mostly it's to leverage that listing to find other people who are looking at real estate in our area or another area. Any lead that you cultivate through these ads, the KV Core basically tracks that, right? There's a paper trail. So it comes into your system and it recognizes that person as a Property Boost lead. So you're going to see that through hashtags. If you guys haven't seen a hashtag, I'll try and show you an example. Property Boost leads are pretty much at this point exclusively owned by the agent. And as we all know, one really big point of attraction to the system is that agent leads are private. So I can't actually use another agent's lead as an example to show you that, but I will show you where these hashtags show up and what they do. So Property Boost leads, they have two leads. The first is hashtag Property Boost, and the second is hashtag PB, and then the first 15 letters of the address. So you can filter by all Property Boost leads, or you can filter by just those leads that visited that one address. So this is helpful in two ways. It's going to give you the ability to create a marketing plan for these leads. Step one, when you receive that lead, call or text and make the conversation about the listing they opted in for and their motivations. So that's going to be, why, what are their plans? What are their real estate plans? Most likely, these are people just looking at real estate online. They're probably not ready to buy or sell right away. And we don't want to seem like, we're snapping at their heels and getting them to transact. So just open that conversation. Step two is going to setting up an automatic listing alert based on the hashtag that's coming in. So if they're looking at a 3-2 in East Hill or out in Cantonment or something like that, set them up a listing alert loosely based on that stuff so that you can keep them engaged and they can use you as a resource. Step three, mass email and text interesting property info and other content to everyone in your database on a regular basis. This is what we talk about pretty much on a daily basis, and that is just touching your database 2 to 4 times a month. So set them up on a plan to do that and keep your name in front of them. And step 4 is to set them up on a Property Boost campaign. And I know what you're thinking. Well, what does that look like? I don't have a campaign. And you guys are in luck. KV Core does have one already. There is actually a Facebook lead and Property Boost campaign in KV Core. So I want to make sure you guys know where to find this. So we're going to jump back into KV Core. And let's go to the Smart CRM. And we'll see if something comes up and I can illustrate that hashtag for you. So we're seeing now that private leads, that's going to be leads that you guys import or you guys cultivate in some fashion with your lead generation. Let's do this. So here we see these are leads. And then these are the hashtags. So a Property Boost lead would probably say Property Boost and then PB and then the address. So that's what the hashtags are going to look like. And then you can also search by hashtags here as well. So if you wanted to see Property Boost leads or anything attached to one single listing, you could search that here. But again, those are private. I tried before we came to class and it would not let me because they're private. The final thing is the campaign. So once these leads come in, how do we stay in touch with them? And you're going to do that by coming down to marketing and then visiting your smart campaigns. We covered this in our campaign class. Here are all of the campaigns that are available to you automatically. They're pretty cut and dry, you know, standard things, not many deviations to the norm here. You've got a buyer campaign, you've got a seller campaign, you know, sphere, open house. And over here to the right, you can see what's turned on and what's turned off automatically. So you can come in here and change these, but I don't want to go into this too much. We're just keeping a frame of mind on the Property Boost and Facebook ad leads. So Property Boost and Facebook ad leads is not a campaign automatically available to you guys. What you're going to want to do is come up here to the KV Core library. So think of my campaigns as just those canned basic campaigns that everyone probably should run. KV Core library, however, is going to hold a plethora of other things that you guys can use. So the very first one you see here is Property Boost and Facebook ads. It's not going to be hard for you guys to find this. And you can go through here and see what else they have that you guys might can use. Property Boost and Facebook ads campaign is here. So what I'm going to do is add this to my library. Once I do that, down here at the bottom, it says that campaign has been added. I can then go to my campaigns and it's up here at the top. All I'd need to do at that point is turn it on. And it should be that easy. Do we have any questions? Pretty simple ad here. These are internet leads, so it's going to take a little bit of work to nurture them. It texts them, sends them a follow-up, and then reminds you guys to set up property alerts. So you guys could put them on this as well as another, maybe a buyer campaign or something like that. But just want to make sure you guys are aware that that is there. Do you guys have any questions about Property Boost or maybe the system in general? Excellent. Today should be pretty easy. It was pretty simple. Audie did ask that I go over how to add a contact. So if you guys are out and meeting people and making those contacts that you want to add into your database, you're going to do that by clicking Quick Actions here. And I don't know if you can see this at the very top right hand corner. I'll minimize this a little bit so maybe it's easier to see. So you're logged into your dashboard. We're going to click Quick Actions and you'll see right there, add a contact. It's very,
Hey,
yeah.
Is BombBomb in KV Core or is it a fee?
BombBomb, as I understand it, is an additional subscription fee for the agents, but I'll have to double check. We looked into adding it as like a subscription for everyone, and I don't think that was possible at the time. But let me double check and I'll get back with you, Allison. All right. So if you guys are on the 8 a.m. call, hopefully you're meeting your goals. You're meeting your 2 people a week and putting them into your database. And it is this easy. It's just a couple of questions. If you have a database, maybe you have a couple of people on your street, you don't have a name or number, just check this box. I only have an address. And that way you don't have to have the email or the phone number, and the system knows that. First name and last name go in, email and cell phone, and you're going to tell the system how can it contact these people. So if you have someone who's really sensitive, maybe someone that you don't ever want getting an email from the system, or something like that. You know, I know some people are pretty protective of their clients and their sphere. Go ahead and set that up. Say no, or say yes, whatever permissions you want it to have. Lead type, you have a couple different types here: buyer and seller, renter, vendor, and agent. So if it's a Sphere person, maybe buyer or seller, and just make sure that the smart campaign is not being ran. Lead status. So if you talk to someone, it's automatically set to Sphere, but if you talk to someone and they are ready to purchase, that would be a new lead. Maybe it's someone who's like, well, we're thinking about it, but it probably won't be until next year or a couple of years down the line. Mark them as the correct status. Lead source is going to be manual ad because obviously you're adding them manually as we are right now. And you won't see lead owner, by the way. That's just because I'm an admin. Next option here is a smart campaign. So any of those campaigns that live in your My Campaign library will show up here. And again, we just added Property Boost, so that's down at the bottom. You don't have to add a smart campaign. You can just add them in here if you'd like. You can also add a lender. Right now, we only have a couple of options, but stay tuned. That may change in 2022. And then you can add notes as well to that contact.
So Blair, I have a question. What
Sure.
about birthdays and anniversaries? Does that pop up on here?
It does. It's a feature. Let me get out of here. I believe that is on the marketplace. Now this is on the marketplace, but it's not for a fee. Let me see if it's on here. I have seen that. Yes. Okay. So what you're going to do for birthdays and anniversaries is come to marketing. Just click on marketing and come into the page. And it's right here, birthdays and anniversaries. And just click.
So it'll pick up all our names that we have in our database and it'll add that to it, correct?
I'm fairly certain. Yeah. I haven't gone through this, but I'm sure it is a pretty simple thing. By the way, while we're on this marketing tab, anything that is blue is free to use. The voicemail drop and these types of things are going to be an additional fee, but you can always tell because they're in green.
Blair, one more question.
Sure.
I've set up campaigns and I've set up the Facebook reminder things. And when I post them, it says it has this identifier at the top.
Mhm.
Okay, for stuff. And I wondered, I don't see that there's any way to get rid of that. And that just, it's kind of like a sponsored ad to me.
Okay, so is this an email that you're sending?
No, this is a Facebook post. It's the Facebook posts that, what is it? They call it the listing machine or something like that. And they put posts every day. They send me something that says this goes to multiple places and this goes to your personal page.
Okay.
And when I post them, it uploads with an identifier of KV Core at the top.
On your business page?
On both.
On both. Okay. Let me look into it and see if maybe that's a setting or something. I don't have a perfect answer for you right now, but I'll follow up with you on that. And then
you might want to look at my page and you'll see them.
Yeah.
And then it'll make more sense.